Hello there and welcome to another What's Up with me, Slidal. Today we're looking at the KV-5. Now the KV-5 is a tank I've only recently bought back in the gift shop a couple of weeks ago, and to be honest, so far I've had almost no luck with it. And finally today I got a game which is fairly decent. It's not the best you'll ever see, it's not even an Ace Tanker award, but it does show off one major feature of the KV-5, and that is how well the armour does as long as you can keep the obvious weak spot hidden. Everybody knows about the R2-D2 on the front of it, and what I'm showing you in this game is how to side scrape using in the first case a piece of rock and the second case a building to hide that obvious weak spot and then let the KV-5 go to work, and I do pretty well. Here we are on Windstorm, and it's not a new map, it's been in the game a few months now, but this is one of those maps where I have a fairly linear approach. I tend to always head off towards the sort of D5 area and that set of rocks, fairly regardless of what tank I have, and I tend to just go to work there and I see what I can do. So you can see here I am heading off there, and there are one or two tanks ahead of me because the KV-5's fairly quick for a big heavy tank, but not lightning fast. And I'm just going to get up there to my favoured position. Already there's been some enemies spotted, and I can see that there is a tiger and a lurver down in the area that I want to be shooting at, and I'm hoping they're still there when I get into position. There is an enemy RT on the other side. It's an FB304, and I do think that I might be a priority target for that RT, but I'm not too worried about it because the 304 tends to chip away and do lots of little bits of small damage rather than a huge amount of damage in one go. Now what I'm looking at is this rock in front of me, the rock where the T71 is. I want to get right up against that rock and hide my lower plate and the right hand side of my tank and then side scrape out. So you'll see me here moving straight into position, getting straight up and literally jamming the front end of my tank up against this rock. There it is. And then I'm going to angle slightly and reverse back. Now I actually over angle to start with. I do put a good shell straight into the tiger, but the lurver does manage to still shoot me. I'm not sure where, I'll have to have a look at that at a later date. And then back out again, and second shot into the tiger. Back in position. It takes me about 8 seconds to reload, but about 3 seconds to aim, so you'll see that I start to reverse out with a couple of seconds left. This is a very speculative and very lucky shot. The ELC AMX was driving away with his back to me, and I just thought I'll have a shot at him, and it actually went in. I'm planning on having a go at the lurver's lower plate there, but he reverses into cover, and then the tiger reappears and I get a third shot into the tiger into the side of his turret. And he's now only on a couple of hundred hit points, and I'm looking to finish him off. There he is, and unluckily I bounce. That's my first bounce of the game. But other than that damage the lurver did early on, not much is happening. Now I'm fairly sure the tiger is still here, and I'm waiting for him to appear again on the minimap, for somebody to light him up, and hopefully I'll get my first kill. No, he hasn't appeared yet. The lurver's still behind the building, and he can't really decide what to do. He knows he's got a VK in front of him, and he's got people behind him, in the case of myself and one or two others. And I think he's going to come out, but he doesn't. Then he decides to go for it. The lurver makes a move to attack the VK to go for him. So I think I better go and support here. So I head off straight down there with the intention of either shooting the lurver or actually ramming him. The KV-5 is not a lightning fast tank, but if you get it up to speed it weighs so much that it rams very, very well. I'm keeping the building between me and the lurver so he can't shoot me easily, and as I come around the back of it I just lock on the auto targeting and get a shot straight into him. What I want to do now is keep moving because that tiger may have been coming around the corner and I might have wanted to ram him. And then I notice there's a borsig up on the hill looking the other way. I have time to aim fully and get a clean shot into him, but I then decide to move off. A, because the borsig might decide to shoot me back, and B, because he's on low health and somebody else can get him. And I really want that tiger because I've done all the damage on him so far. So I go off looking for him, and it's not too long until, there we are. And you'll see there's two bounces there. One was the tiger, somebody up to my left bounced as well, and I don't know who that is at this stage. Tiger's a bit confused, he doesn't know what to do, and I've got time now. I can just wait for him to look at that lower plate, sorry, that flat frontal plate, and just slam a shot into him. Game's still 7-all, and their heavy tanks, other than the ones we were engaging, have now managed to go right through the town. They've taken the town successfully, and their Black Prince and their Tiger 2 have got through to our side of the map and are heading towards our base. So it's my duty as one of the higher tiered players to get back and try and give a bit of help. They're not going to expect it. They will know that I'm there because they'll have seen me fighting it out with the lurver and the tiger. but they're probably going to think that I'm heading off towards the cap now, so I'm going to head off through the town here. As I said, the KV-5 is not a slow tank, it's not lightning fast, but I am managing to go through the town at pretty much almost 30 kilometers per hour. And what I want to do is I want to actually get in a position to shoot these guys from behind, because they're not going to expect me to turn up. Our T-71 is doing a great job there. He gets rid of the AMX-12T, and he's also teasing those two heavies, making them spin around and look at him, which is why I can gamble and literally come out exposing the whole side of my tank. And I've got time to have a look there, but they do notice me, and that Black Prince and the Tiger both turn back to face me. I bounce one shot from the Tiger, and then I go into a side-scraping position again. I'm using the building this time, but again I'm putting that R2-D2 out of the way. I managed to get a shot into the Black Prince. I get tracked, but I'm not bothered about that because I'm staying here anyway. And now I'm going to work on the Tiger 2. I get a nice clean shot into his lower plate. And I can afford to actually leave most of my tanks sticking out, because the bit that they really want to shoot, they can't shoot. That shot donks and goes low, goes underneath the tank. Russian guns tend to be fairly inaccurate, and the KV-5 is no different. And I have another one that bounces on the Tiger 2, but now he's getting surrounded. The rest of our team have come back to support as well. And I think I'm going to get another kill because he's turning sideways, but somebody beats me to it. I aim for the top, the roof of the Black Prince, because it's actually very well armoured from the front, but the roof is not well armoured. And it bounced, and amazingly the second one bounced as well. 2 bounces off the roof. Now they've been cleaned up in the town. All that the enemy have left now is an SU-100Y and a Dicker Max. The SU-100Y was last seen in A8, and the Dicker Max hasn't been seen yet. But I can assume he's probably somewhere near their base, hiding behind a bush, waiting to try and stop somebody from capping. So I'm going to invite that attention. I'm going to head off towards their base, again using the reasonable pace of this heavy tank. And I was also thinking, if one of them was trying to get behind me, I would just ram him. I see the SU-100Y. Now he's got a very slow aiming gun as well, so he stops to aim at me, I stop to aim at him. I can afford to aim all the way in because I'm not bothered if he shot me really. I can afford to take 400 or 500 damage. I'm on almost full health, and I don't know where the Dicker Max is now, so I just think I'll get myself into the cap circle and start to steal a few cap points, a little bit of extra experience. I can't really be bothered to go chasing him down, and it turns out of course that I just get into the cap circle and I don't have to go chasing him down because he lights up on the minimap. There he is. He's been sat in a bush behind the cap circle all the time. I try to get a quick shot in before I'm fully aimed, and I pay the price, it doesn't go in. So I do have time, however, to wait for a second shot, and I managed to get a nice clean shot into him there, and somebody finishes him off. Now, that's not a bad game, but it did show the KV-5's strength. Only a second class mastery, but I got a Steel Wall award because of the number of bounces that I got. And what it really did show off is that the KV-5 can side scrape, but you have to keep the right hand side of the tank hidden. I managed to do over 3,000 damage and get over 1,000 experience from that game, which was pretty good. As I say, it's the best one I've had since I rebought this tank a couple of weeks ago. And of my shots, 19 shots I took, 16 actually hit their target, which is not bad for the accuracy. Only 11 went in, but 3,000 damage, 2,000 armor block, and still 82,000 credits after everything was repurchased. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I'm Slidal. Thank you. Goodbye.